This video is sponsored by Cooper University Healthcare.
Hi there, I'm Andie Summers from 92.5 WXTU, and I am here with Dr. Meghan Pavlick, the Director of Balance and Hearing Services at Cooper University Healthcare. Now, Dr. Pavlick is going to be answering some of your questions that you've submitted online about hearing loss and balance issues. Welcome.
Welcome to our suite. Thank you for coming.
And this is quite a sweet suite. Can you tell me about where we are right now?
So you are in the audiology booth here at 3 Cooper Plaza in Camden. This is our soundproof booth where we do all of our testing for any hearing issues.
Okay. You have such a soothing voice. I just feel so calm and at ease talking to you. It's wonderful. So I have some questions from some people. Can you talk a little bit about the advances in hearing aid technology? Because I remember, when I think of hearing aids and like older people, they're these big clunky things, but now you don't even notice them in people's ears.
Absolutely. So the manufacturers have realized that there is a stigma that goes with them. So their goal over the past probably 5 to 10 years has really been, with every other piece of technology, is to kind of shrink it. Our cell phones got really small. Now they're getting a little large again, but hearing aids have also followed suit. So they are much smaller, more discreet. Some of the biggest developments have been we are now able to stream directly to our cell phones via Bluetooth. So people with hearing loss are now able to take telephone calls through their hearing aids.
Wow.
You can stream music, you're able to watch videos. It also can act as a remote control, again, very discreetly. Somebody might think you're texting, you're actually adjusting your hearing aids.
How about that?
Yeah.
So is this going to be the future and we're not even going to have earbuds anymore? Everyone will just have hearing aids.
Wouldn't that be great? We get rid of the stigma.
That is so cool. Yeah, awesome. Okay, that's really neat. So listen, this is a great question because I know my dad's had hearing aids for a while. My mom just got them. But Dee wants to know, will wearing a hearing aid improve my quality of life? And if so, how drastically?
Yes, and of course it will. I mean, think of all the people who almost become secluded because they're afraid to communicate, answer the question incorrectly, don't want to look silly, and I hear that a lot. I don't want to look silly by answering the wrong thing.
Right.
So they kind of stop doing the things that they've enjoyed.
Sure.
Going to restaurants, interacting with family. And everybody's different, of course, but I really think that hearing aids, early identification of hearing loss, and putting amplification on can really improve your quality of life dramatically.
Fantastic. What are the most common causes of hearing loss?
We're seeing a lot of, at this point, baby boomers, so noise-induced from occupational as well as recreational noise exposure.
Which we love. We love concerts and we love doing things that are loud, right?
Of course, but it's really detrimental to our hearing.
Right.
And I think, in your 20s, you don't think about it, and then when you hit 40, 50, 60, and things maybe aren't so quite crisp and clear as they used to be, you think, maybe I shouldn't have been to all those concerts.
Right. I even notice if you're listening to your music on a device, it'll tell you like, hey, if you're plugged in, don't go past this. And then I think, gosh, there's probably something wrong with me because I really need it turned up a little bit more.
You might just like it a little loud.
That's right. Maybe that's it. It's the rocker in me. So those are some things that attribute to it.
Mom and dad, genetics, things that we have no control over.
Right.
And just, unfortunately, sometimes it's the luck of the draw.
Okay.
Things that you can't help.
But at least we know that we can come here and talk to you, and we'll be good to go. So at what age do you think that screening should start?
It's not unreasonable, probably in your 20s, to at least get a baseline hearing test.
Interesting. Okay.
We can start to see very small changes with some of our tests long before you can even perceive changes in your hearing. So just keeping an eye on them, being able to have a baseline, so when down the line, if anything does change, we can have something to compare it to.
Okay. If you do notice that there's a change taking place, is there something that can be done to help prevent it from going further or even reverse it without doing a hearing aid or before you get to that point?
Good question. Depends on what the change is from.
Okay.
There are things medically that we would be able to probably help and correct. Things like fluid or wax in the ears. Those are things that we would be able to take care of by one of the ear, nose, and throat surgeons here, as opposed to just doing a basic hearing test, from myself. We would do it together with them.
Right. And don't put anything in your ear unless it's your elbow.
Correct.
Is that right?
That's
you don't
very
even put someone
true.
else's elbow in your, that's, I know. I learned that from a young age.
It's a very wise statement.
Christy writes in, I'm in my late 20s. Are there things that I should be doing now to help protect my hearing?
Absolutely. I would say one of the biggest things is iPods. We don't know long term what the effects are going to be, because it does take years for noise-induced hearing loss to kind of show up. So because the iPods themselves haven't been around all that long, the research hasn't been around long enough to find out what the final outcome is. However, the recommendation from the kind of lead noise-induced hearing loss researcher is 60 for 60. So 60% volume, 60 minutes daily is the recommended listening of
that's
earbuds.
great. Okay, I've never heard that. So can you repeat that again, just because I think that can really hit home for some people?
Sure. The recommendation is 60 for 60.
60 for 60.
60% volume of your device for 60 minutes daily is kind of the max recommended listening with earbuds.
So let's say that I commute on the train or the bus. I'm in some sort of mass transit situation. I really want to have those earbuds in and kind of help block everything out. If I can bring it down lower, then maybe I could listen longer that way?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're looking at more like the 30 to 40%, you can increase that time.
Okay.
But even at 60%, they really recommend 30 minutes be kind of the max time.
Got it.
Softer levels are okay for longer periods of time.
Right. Okay. That's really great stuff. Okay. Someone else writes in here. Jane says, my teenager is always on his iPhone listening to music. And she says, I can hear it all the way across the room. And so obviously, she said, I think that's going to be damaging his hearing. Do you have any resources that I can show him about the damage? And, at this point, should I take him in to get his hearing checked?
Absolutely. Anytime that you can hear somebody else's iPod or whatever they're using, MP3 player, it is too loud. Absolutely. I hear a lot of parents ask me about the kids in the back seat.
Right.
I can hear it. I'm driving over the road noise. I'm still able to hear it. You might want to tell them to turn it down a little bit.
Much easier said than done, though.
Agreed. Some of the resources, the American Academy of Audiology is our big source where we go as audiologists and they're kind of our credentialing body. They have a lot of links that you would be able to go on there for noise-induced hearing loss, on things for listening to earphones, things like that. So the American Academy of Audiology would be a great site.
Okay, that's great to know too. How dangerous is it to allow my 6-year-old to be on her iPad while wearing headphones?
Again, you want to keep
the volume down.
Keep the volume down, and if it's a softer volume, then it's okay to be on there a little bit longer. But if they're like listening to music and it's up a little bit, 60% volume for 60 minutes a day. That's what I'm sticking to.
That's the rule.
That's the rule.
We should keep that around. So, I have a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old, and sometimes they're playing games or something. So, we'll let them use the iPad, and they have headphones. I haven't given them earbuds yet because I feel like that freaks me out a little bit. Is that, am I on the right path, or am I just hypersensitive?
So a lot of researchers will tell you that actually over-the-ear earphones are a little bit safer than something that goes into the ear.
Okay.
The reason being is that they're further away from the eardrum.
Right.
And the way that the sound is processing, the ear is processing the sound. So it's not a bad idea.
Okay, that's great. And then finally, This woman writes, I think my dad's starting to lose his hearing. What can I do to encourage him to get his hearing checked?
I guess it's a sensitive subject. You never want to make anybody feel defensive about what's going on. Something that I've seen some other patients do is actually say, I'm going to go get my hearing checked. Why don't you come with me and we'll do it together and grab lunch? Make it very nonchalant, but at least, identification or make people think about it. Maybe they don't go, but at the end of the day, it's kind of planted the seed. And I think that's where you have to start, is gently plant a seed, because a lot of people are in denial about hearing loss. It's kind of I think the gatekeeper to I'm getting old. So we do see it a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like with technology changing, this is going to start coming on a lot sooner and a lot younger for a lot of people. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's great to be aware of it now. Well, Doctor, thank you so
You're
much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for some really great questions today. I know that I learned a lot. I know that our viewers did too. So if you have any more questions for Dr. Pavlick, or you have any other information that you're interested in about the hearing program here at Cooper, make sure that you check out all of our Ask the Doctor videos. You can just visit cbsphilly.com/CooperDocs.
This video is sponsored by Cooper University Healthcare.